already see you running to the comments right now to angry type. Are you saying there are no rich black people? Have you ever heard of Oprah, Michael Jordan, the Carters? Obviously, when I say 5 things rich people understand that black people don't, of course I'm not saying if you're black, you're not rich. If you watch my video about why black people are 13 times poorer, then you understand I'm talking about us as a whole. Our community is not rich. Our community is very, very behind financially. A new year is upon us, and my wish for you and for myself too is to be financially better every year than the year before. And I'm making this video because in the next 4 years, it looks like there won't be any reparations coming anytime soon. We have to start taking care of ourselves and our financial well-being. Here's 5 lessons from the rich. Let's start with probably the most important thing that rich people understand that a lot of people in our community don't understand. That is compound interest. The magic trick rich people swear by, actually they live by, and search for every day of their lives is the ability for your money to make more money without you doing any work. And then for that money to make even more money. It's like putting your dollars on steroids, except it's 100% legal. Here's how it works. If you invest $10,000 at a 7% annual return, in 10 years, you will have almost doubled your money to $19,672. That's doubling your money for not doing anything. But if you leave that same money in your savings account at a 0.01% interest, you'll have earned in a decade enough to buy probably a large fries at McDonald's. That's even a maybe. And then there's a lot of people in our community that don't even trust the banks and still leave money under their mattress, which gives you 0%, and actually you're losing money due to inflation because your money is actually losing its purchasing power every single year. The problem is only 34% of African American households have any investments in retirement account, compared to 60% of white households, according to CNBC. Why? The lack of education and investing and a fear of losing money. But here's the thing, doing nothing is a guaranteed way to lose. We need to stop thinking that investing is for rich people. You can start investing with as little as $10, but in order to take full advantage of compounding, you need to start as early as possible. Starting at, let's say, 25 and having 30 to 40 years to let your money make more money is so much more powerful compared to starting at 40 or 50 and only having 10 to 20 years to grow your money. One of the richest people in the world, Warren Buffett, talks about this all the time. All the time. Most of his money came from compounding, and he started at such a young age. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. It seems like to me, and I completely understand, that so many of us in our community have a short mindset. And hopefully I'm saying that right. We think about the next year, the next 6 months. So every time I tell one of my friends about compound interest, if I tell them, well, you'll be rich in 30 years, or you'll have this amount of money in 10 years, I don't know why, it just doesn't make sense to them. But that time is gonna go by so quick. Watching your money grow, especially after you get it to $100,000, you gotta imagine, you're making 10% on your money when you get to $100,000. So that's an extra $10,000 a year. I think what Einstein called like the 9th wonder of the world, maybe we'll put that quote up here, what even boggled the mind of Einstein, compound interest is something our community needs to learn as soon as possible. Now, let's talk about keeping money in the community. Did you know that in the Jewish and Asian communities, a dollar circulates for up to 30 days? In black communities, the same dollar vanishes within 6 hours. Why, you might ask? Because too often we're shopping at big box stores or on non-black owned businesses instead of supporting our own. Now, I'm not saying you need to overhaul your entire spending overnight, but imagine if we all made a conscious effort to buy black more often. Black-owned businesses would grow, create jobs, and funnel that money right back into our own neighborhoods. Apps like We Buy Black and Official Black Wall Street make it easier to find black-owned businesses. You know, another way to keep money in our own communities is investing with each other or joining investing clubs. And number 3, avoiding the trap of buying brand names. I gotta admit, I've fallen for this trap, and I don't know where it came from, but somewhere growing up, you just start falling in love with brand names and the effect that it has on other people. I get it. I understand. I'm sure you've done it, and I've done it. We'll all stand in line for hours to buy the latest Jordans, but we'll act like investing $200 in stocks is a scam. I know we're not the only ones who love buying brand names, but we might be the ones least qualified to be spending hundreds or thousands of dollars to get the brand names. The truth is, rich people don't care about looking rich. They care about being rich. Take Warren Buffett. He's worth over $100 billion, but he still drives a modest car, I'm not saying that I would do that, and eats at McDonald's. Obviously not the best diet in the world, but the man is over 90 and still sharp. In 2019, Nelson's reported that African Americans spent over $1.6 trillion annually, and a significant chunk of that was on luxury goods. But guess what? Those brands, they don't give two craps about us, and they're spending literally probably $5 on the shirt that you're spending $200-300 on. And of course, those brands obviously don't reinvest in our communities. You think Louis Vuitton is building schools in the hood? They're building more stores to sell you on overpriced bags. And to be honest, I don't even care if you buy any of this stuff. I like luxury stuff, but the thing that I wish I would have knew earlier on is just invest in Louis Vuitton first, and then let them pay you, and then use their money to go out and buy your Louis Vuitton or whatever luxury good you want. After keeping money in the black community for at least a day or two, I mean, god dang, 6 hours? What the heck? At number 4, understanding assets versus liabilities. I was just teaching my 9-year-old nephew this last week, and he honestly understood this in less than 10 minutes. So let me break down this fundamental lesson. The difference between assets and liabilities. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out. It's that simple. But here's the problem. Many of us treat liabilities like assets. For example, we'll brag about owning a car, but as soon as you drive it off the lot, it loses value faster than ice cream melts in the sun. Meanwhile, we hesitate to invest in our own businesses. It's one thing to take a calculated risk and something else completely to avoid it altogether without even doing the research. According to the Federal Reserve, the median net worth of black households is $24,000 compared to $188,000 for white households. Much of this disparity comes down to asset ownership. Rich people invest in things that grow in value, real estate, stocks, and businesses, while too many of us spend money on things that just don't make any money. It's finally time to rethink what we as a community value. Instead of financing a new iPhone every year, imagine putting that same $1,000 into a Roth IRA. I'll leave a link below where I talk about Roth IRAs. And number 5, giving back. Finally, rich people understand the power of giving back. Again, I know what you're thinking. How can I give back when I barely have enough for myself? But giving back doesn't have to mean writing million-dollar checks like Oprah or Robert F. Smith. It could mean mentoring a young person, volunteering your time, or even just sharing what you've learned, preferably in this video. Philanthropy creates a ripple effect. When we invest in our communities, we build opportunities for everyone. Look at historical black colleges and universities. Despite being underfunded, they produce 40% of black engineers and 50% of black doctors. Imagine what they could do with more support. And giving back isn't just about charity, it's about legacy. Rich people give because they know it keeps their influence alive long after they're gone. I mean, really think about it. Would you rather be remembered for driving a luxury car or for uplifting an entire generation? So, there you have it. 5 things rich people understand that we all need to embrace. Compound interest, keeping money in the community, avoiding brand name traps, understanding assets and liabilities, and last but not least, giving back. The truth is, building wealth isn't about having money, it's about having the right mindset. We don't have to wait for someone else to save us. And remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about making progress. Make sure to follow me at Directed by Jarrett on Instagram. None of you guys are following me. And make sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think. And I'm gonna give a little bonus and really piss off some people that made it all the way to the end of this video. At the present moment, Bitcoin is almost at $100,000. And I couldn't stress enough that our community, as a form of investing, needs to stay away from this at all costs. Everyone I know at the moment is rushing back into Bitcoin, but I will say this until I'm blue in the face. Bitcoin is not a form of investing because you cannot assess the value of what it will be in the future. You have no idea if it's gonna go from $100,000 to $1 million or back down to $10. No one knows. I don't care what anybody says. So as a community, as a form of investing, I want everybody to stay away from this. If you want to gamble with some money that you have on the side and you don't mind losing, go ahead and put it into Bitcoin. I don't care if Trump's in office. I don't care who's in office. At the end of the day, if you cannot assess, like for instance, for a house, I know that in a neighborhood where houses are $500,000, if you sell me that house for $200,000, there's a good chance that I'm gonna make money if this house is in decent shape. Because I can assess how much this house that I'm buying is worth compared, doing the comps, on the houses that are surrounding it. That is investing, okay? If you're gonna use that house to flip or do something and you can get it at a really good price and assess the value, that is investing. If you cannot assess how much Bitcoin should be worth, you are gambling. And that gamble can pay off, just like going to Vegas and putting it on red or black. You can put 500,000 in there. You can say I made money, but you cannot call that investing because you cannot assess the value of that bet. So as a community, I would love if black people, as a form of investing or growing their money or with money that they need in the future, stay away from Bitcoin or any of these coins that everybody's rushing back into. Instead, invest in ETFs. I've made videos about that. Maybe I'll leave a link below. And then with spare money that you're like, you know, I have an extra $2,000 or something and I have a net worth of $100,000, $200,000, I'm gonna throw it in Bitcoin, see if Jarrett's wrong. Maybe it'll grow into $10,000 in the future, or if I lose it, I don't care. But leave your comments below. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks again.